Hi, everybody. This is Rob Packard from Medical Device Academy. Today, we're going to talk about how the FDA eSTAR template for 510Ks changed the device descriptions that you have to submit to the FDA. Now, first of all, you don't have to change anything that was working before. You could just say, I'm going to take exactly the template that I was using before for my device description. I'm just going to submit that as is. But there are some places in the FDA eSTAR that you'll have to add new information. It may be duplicate from what's already in your template, but if you pay attention to this video, you may have some things that you can remove from your old template to make it a new and streamlined template and have these other documents as separate documents that you're going to attach in different places. Because the FDA is looking for specific information in specific places. And there are some duplications, but the more you can streamline your templates, the less confusing it will be and the fewer opportunities for miscommunication where this information is inconsistent with information provided in another place. And that causes delays and causes you to get your clearance later than you hope. So what I'm showing on the screen here, what I'm sharing, is the FDA eSTAR template. It's version 5.4. That's the most recent one that the FDA released. They released it in November of last year. 6.0 is, we don't know exactly when that's going to be, but I'm sure it'll be sometime this year. But whenever they make minor revisions, they give in the revision history, which is shown about in the middle of the screen below the frequently asked questions, they show that version history, and you can click on the little black plus sign in the bottom right-hand corner of that box and expand the box, and you can read all the details of what they changed. But the first line there says information was added to the help text of the 510K summary and some other places like device description summary. So I'm going to walk you through the changes that we've made, but I'm also going to share with you our template for a device description. So here's our template for the device description. And this is what we send all clients that we're going to be starting a new project with, whether it's a pre-sub, it's a breakthrough device designation, it's a 513G, whatever it is, we always start with this. And we have a separate one that we use for IVDs that's a little bit different. But in here, we give hyperlinks that show people where to find additional training on how to fill this in. The stuff in yellow, you delete. Those are instructions. And instead of the yellow stuff and the instructions, you put your information under each of the headings. So the first section, they're just asking for your trade name. Then they ask for a general description. The general description is usually the first paragraph or few paragraphs that are at the beginning of your instruction for use or user manual that explain what the device is. And the FDA is looking for basic things like, is it a powered device? Is it a disposable device? Is it a sterile device? What does it do? Those are some of the things. You don't have to put the indication for use in that because it's going to be elsewhere in your user manual where they have a section specifically for indication for use. And it's the very next section of our device description says indication for use as well. So that's at the bottom of the page. So those sections, there's no changes at all. As we go down, the next thing we have is a list of devices. For the list of devices, if you only have one device you're submitting, the list is one. So you just say the only device in this submission is this. That's it. If you have multiple sizes, each one should be listed. If you have different configurations and variations, you're going to list those. Is that information going to be duplicated down below? Yes, it is. But they want to list the devices, and that should match the list of devices that's also included in the FDA eSTAR, and I'll show you where that is. I'll go back. Sorry, it's difficult to navigate with this mouse. Wish I had a touch screen and I could just point to it. There we go. So as we scroll down a little bit, we get to the device description section in your submission. So here it's on page 4. Now, as you open up sections and you add more information to your eSTAR, the submission gets longer. This one's 24 pages. I'm working on one that right now is about 38 pages, and it'll probably go out tomorrow with somewhere around 40 pages or more. So that gives you an idea of a complete submission is 35 to 40 pages. But one of the first things we put in this device description section is the name of the device, so that's the trade name, and then a list of the models. So you'd put those there. And those will be duplicated in your, we call it the indications form or FDA form 3881. It also is going to appear in your declaration of conformity and a couple other places. But you should have a list of all your models. So you could have a very long list there if you have a lot of different sizes. Like sutures, you might have 20 different sizes in a submission. And then as we go down, we're going to answer these other questions. And like if I answer this question, is it life supporting or not? Most of the 510K submissions, the answer is going to be no. But it's possible it could be a yes. Some of these other questions, like software, as soon as you click yes to that, it's going to populate a brand new section. The submission will get longer. So we're at 24 pages now. I add that, and suddenly the submission should get longer. So I don't know if it actually did. Should have gotten longer, but it didn't. Maybe we need to add on some digital technology, like wireless technology would be something that would make it go longer. And we'll add in wireless down here. And so now the submission should get much longer. And when I go down to that section, getting there. So it added this whole section on cybersecurity, and it didn't show a page change to more than 24 pages, but it should be. I don't know why it's not. Let's try page down. There we go. Still not changing my pages. Not exactly sure why. So I was expecting to change the page numbers because it added a whole new section that was a couple pages long. I don't know what's going on with the page numbering, but my demonstration did not work like it's supposed to. We'll go back to the device description here. So this section, whenever you answer these questions, you can add a whole new section of questions to the submission. So if it has any contact with patients, you're going to click yes here, and that's going to expand that that whole new section on biocompatibility as a result. Then it asks, is it an implant? We're going to say, no, it's not an implant. But based on the questions, it populates different sections. But where you could take some things out of our template is in the later sections of it. So I'll go back to the later sections. So we've got the intended patient population, intended users, principles of operation. This blue text is all for software. If you don't have software, you would delete that. Then we have conditions for use. That's the environment where you're going to use the device. Is it an OR or not? But one of the sections you could completely eliminate for almost every 510K is novel features. We keep it in there in case we're doing a de novo, but most of the time you have no novel features because this is a 510K. It's supposed to be equivalent to what's already on the market. So there shouldn't really be much that's novel. Then we have sections on accessories and components. If you are having a kit, this is a section where you might not put as much information in this as you did in the past. In the FDA eSTAR, it has a whole entire section just for kits. So I'm going to get us back to that. You scroll down a little bit, and you have to answer a question here about kits. If I answer this question as yes, it's going to populate a new section about kits. See, I just added a whole bunch of sections and questions here. And it asked me, could I please attach here if I'm going to certify that this is a kit for convenience kit, then I would attach something here. If it's not, I would leave that alone. It's gray on the left hand side, which says it's optional. The other sections are not. They're required. So this one here, I have to attach a list of my components and accessories. Well, do I need it both in the attached device description, or can I just put it here? I can just put it here. So that would be okay. So I would just attach something, and then it's going to allow me to attach the documents, and it's going to pull up like a little box where I can attach different things from my templates or a new Word document that I've created. And somebody's saying hi here. Hi, Alicia. So I will put her link. I will attempt to put her link at the bottom. Yeah, we got to figure out how to navigate this mouse better. Hi, Alicia. And then the next thing we have here is pictures. So after we've attached a list of components, we could also attach pictures. So if you have a brochure with a real good color picture of what's in the kit, like an unboxing video or something, that would be something you can attach. And in fact, you can attach videos to the eSTAR. You couldn't do that easily in the past. You had to do a miscellaneous files document. It had to be a really small file. But you could do a short unboxing video if the file size isn't too big and attach it right there to show people how the kit works and how it opens up and how it's displayed. And that might be really helpful if you had a sterile kit, for example, like a suture removal kit or something. So that's one of the things that you can take out, and I'll show you where you would take that out of our device description template. So here's the device description template. Those accessories and components that are in the middle of the page around the page break, that's what you could remove. You would still want to include your components, the functional components, but you can remove the accessories part because those accessories could be listed in the kit and you wouldn't have to list them in both places. Configurations and variants that we talked about before, that's a duplicate, so that might be something that you don't need because you've already got it in the eSTAR as well. Another thing that we found, if we scroll down here a little bit, in the past, a lot of people would not realize that there's a special controls guidance document. In the special controls guidance document includes a list of what should be in your device description. But in our new eSTAR, they have sections for that. So if we go back to the eSTAR, that information is right here. So it says guidance and special controls. They want you to put it right here. So I would type something in there. Let me grab the other keyboard. So if I type something in there and then I click outside of that, it'll turn green. So now I've filled in that section with the information that was required by the special controls guidance. So I don't have to put that in the submission anymore. Instead of putting it in the submission, or I don't have to put it in the device description anymore. Instead, I put it right in the eSTAR in the place where they designate that I have to put it. And I can't complete the eSTAR until I've done that. So it would be redundant to put it in both places. So why do we give people still this device description that has sections that we don't necessarily need? It's because I still need that information. If I don't have that information, I can't complete the eSTAR. So I just give you one template, you fill it all in, and then I take the information about the information that is required for a special controls guidance, I remove it from the description, and I put it in the eSTAR instead. I ask you for pictures, I attach the pictures instead. So I'll go up here to attachments at the top of the page. I'll add the photos, and then I don't need as many photos in the actual eSTAR. So that way I make sure that I meet all the requirements of the eSTAR, and I've only asked you to fill in one template, but what you give me and what we go in the eSTAR might be a little bit different because I've moved some information from the Word document to the eSTAR. So that's one of the ways this is different. But as you can see, there's a lot of information that they're looking for in this device description section. And based on the questions that they ask and how you answer them, it changes what things you have to include in the submission. So this is the first document that we're having our clients fill in for any submission, whether it's a pre-sub, a 510K, a de novo. We have them fill this in our Word document, answer those questions, and then we're able to start populating this and it makes the submission go a lot smoother. We also don't have to fix mistakes. Like we assume, oh, we assumed it was sterile. You said it's non-sterile and they're going to autoclave it. Well, that would be an important detail to know. So that's why we ask you to provide some information that might be above and beyond what you would normally put in a device description, but it's important for your submissions. And the eSTAR has made some of those things where we can attach them in different places, so we can take them out of the device description template, but you still need the information in the submission somewhere. And the FDA makes it very clear where they want it. Okay, I hope that was helpful. I'm sorry I haven't been doing live streams every week because of the holidays, but now we're back and we're going to try to stay on schedule with every week at 12:30 Eastern time like we were before. So I will check out comments today. It's been quite a while, so I'm sure there's some comments there for me to respond to. And thank you for joining us today on our live stream. And if you have any suggestions for next week, I'd be happy to see them. And if you have somebody in your team that needs to create a device description, please share this video with them. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.